A few bugs came up in testing that we'll need to fix before we ship this new feature. Users are complaining about the options field. They think it should be freeform, not drop down. What's the ETA on the ticket I signed to you yesterday? All hands meeting in 5. We're scrapping the release and starting over. A few bugs came up in testing. What's the ETA on the ticket I signed to you? It's called product management, but there's a heck of a lot of expectation management in your job, am I right? With all the managing that you're doing, it's vital for us to make sure that we're managing to highlight all the great work that you've been doing on your resume. In today's video, we'll take a look at how to write a product manager resume. I'm Kamara Toffolo, resume writer, LinkedIn consultant, job search strategist, and LinkedIn top voice who helps established professionals dare to do work differently and land great fitting gigs. I post new videos every week, and my videos will equip you with some of the most valuable information to make your job search easier, because job searching shouldn't be this hard. As a product management professional, you're in demand. Organizations are always trying to ship new products, new features, new enhancements, and upgrades. Harder, better, faster, stronger. With the pressure of harder, better, faster, stronger, sometimes as a product manager, you can feel like you're in perpetual execution mode. And when you do come up for air, you're left wondering what work you actually did. Sure, there's a product. Sure, you helped make it better, but how do you talk about that type of work on your resume? That's where this video comes in. And special thanks to Andy Bowden, co-host of C3 Podcast, link below, who is a product management leader and hiring manager. He provided me with many insights into what he's looking for when he hires product managers. Let's take a look at the few things that you'll want to make sure that you're really highlighting on your product manager resume. If you're in product, you should be explaining what your products actually are on your resume. I wouldn't be mentioning this if a lot of product managers weren't leaving this foundational piece of information off of their resumes. Now, I'm not saying that you need to get into a ton of detail. Like, I'm not saying that you need to launch into a full-on presentation about your product specs. But when you are writing about the work that you do on your resume, you want to help the reader get a bit of the lay of the land. So my recommendation is in the opening paragraph where you talk about your role, duties, responsibilities, before you get into the accomplishments. Write a sentence with something like, manage a suite of blah products that enable users to do something cool. So this might sound like, manage a suite of e-commerce products that help merchants process credit card payments more effectively and efficiently. By spending even just one sentence explaining your product, the reader goes into reading the rest of your resume and description of your product manager role and accomplishments with a much better understanding, and will have a clearer idea of the impact of your contributions and accomplishments. When Andy is hiring product managers, he looks for proof of how you've brought together business strategy and product strategy. And he verifies that you have a strong understanding of your business and customer needs and objectives. To say that you think strategically or that you explore customer needs, that doesn't cut it. You need to really demonstrate how you've done this. A few examples of how you could do that include talking about how you implemented a process to gather client and user feedback in order to identify new opportunities for product features and enhancements, and how much this ended up boosting customer satisfaction. Or you could talk about how you built the product roadmap that enabled your organization to expand into new markets and new channels, where and what those were, and how much it ultimately boosted revenue. Or you could share how you optimized workflow and processes to cut costs or to ship products faster, or both. The biggest of all product management accomplishments is the launch. It's like bringing your baby into the world, right? But simply saying that you launched a product isn't very helpful. And saying you launched 3, 4, 5 products, that's not very helpful either. Instead, when we talk about launching a product, we want to share details like how you oversaw the build of a product from, say, concept to launch. That was maybe first to market, or say position your organization as a leader in a particular field, industry, or sector, or maybe how your product entered new markets and secured new market share. And you'll also want to share what your product did or does for users and customers. And then you'll really want to wrap this up with a really strong metric, with a few options including the amount of new revenue that was produced from your launch, the market share growth that resulted from the product that you launched, or say user adoption percentage or numbers in a very short period of time. As a product manager, you are the glue that holds stakeholders together and squeezes a product out of them. Working with stakeholders tops Andy's list of qualifications he's looking for when he's hiring product managers. So that means if you're a junior product manager, you'll want to make sure that you mention that you've worked with engineers and developers if you have. And if you're a senior product manager, you'll want to make sure that you mention that you engage with senior leadership and or executives if you have. You can mention this in that small paragraph that precedes your accomplishment bullets. Or if you want to turn your work with stakeholders into an accomplishment, you could consider highlighting results such as the top result that you achieved by influencing stakeholders, how you may have saved money or expedited a product by negotiating with vendors, or maybe how you secured money or buy-in from stakeholders in order to move forward with a new product or initiative. If you're a more senior product management professional, you've likely led teams. This could have been your own team of direct reports, a cross-functional team of cross-functional resources, an indirect team across a matrixed organization, or all of the above. In order to showcase your leadership strengths, you might want to consider sharing highlights such as the size of the team that you've led if it's 10 or more people, and naming a few titles of the most senior folks on your team. If your team is really lean, then you could consider naming just a few of those most senior titles. If your team is remote or really geographically dispersed, you can mention that. You could consider mentioning how you led your team to accomplish something amazing and what that amazing thing was. Maybe how you mentored or coached team members to receive promotions or accolades. Or how you equipped and enabled your team to continue doing their best work during the P word, which I cannot say on YouTube, and so on. As a product manager, you need to give consideration to the many different priorities of different stakeholders while creating exquisite products. That's not easy. Make sure on your resume that you're really highlighting your thoughtfulness and intention behind creating those great products. And here's my cue for you. Are you applying for product manager roles? What are you most proud of accomplishing in your product management career? Tell me in the comments below. As you know, I make a lot of videos, but I also make free guides to help you in your job search. If you want to get my free cover letter guide and checklist, or my free post-interview thank you notes, guide, and templates, you can download them, sign up for them with the links in the description below. And if you found this video helpful, please do give it a like. It helps me help more people. And if you'd like to see more of this face in your feed, click on that face over there to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.